Today on 321 Liftoff, have we got some excitement to talk about today? We'll talk with Rob Himler, Manager of Marketing and Communications of Melbourne Orlando International Airport, and also with David Dow, Senior Vice President of Elite Airways, who will tell us all about resuming flights from Melbourne to New York and New Jersey and future growth. It's all coming right up right here on 321 Liftoff.
Three, two, one, liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome to 321 Liftoff. I'm Wayne Belden, the president of Belden Communications, the publisher of the Space Coast Fun Guide and SpaceCoastFunGuide.com. We'll be bringing you 321 Liftoff each week, talking about tourism on Florida's fabulous Space Coast. With me is the host of 321 Liftoff, Bonnie King, former Deputy Director of the Space Coast Office of Tourism, as well as the past President of the Florida Film Commission. Bonnie, are we ready to blast off on 321 Liftoff?
Yes,
Hey!
I'm ready to take flight. I am ready to take flight because today we are here at the Melbourne Orlando International Airport. That's right here in Melbourne on Florida's Space Coast. And we're going to have a tourism conversation with David Dow, Senior Vice President with Elite Airways, who announced that they have just resumed airfare from Melbourne to New York and New Jersey.
Awesome.
And also Rob Himler, Manager of Marketing and Communications right here at the airport. And he will update us on the renovations that are going on here at the airport as well as future plans that are going on. 321 Liftoff is brought to you in part by the Beachside Hotel and Suites on Cocoa Beach, offering a great overnight vacation destination when you visit our Space Coast area, and by Longboards Restaurant and Tiki Bar, located at the Hilton Oceanfront on Cocoa Beach. And they have that fabulous ambiance and a great food and drink, great to go with your friends, and by the Space Coast Fun Guide, offering a fabulous what to do in this area. They're going to tell you everything that you need to see and do and where to do it. And joining me is John Belden, Vice President of Belden Communications. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Bonnie. Happy Friday to you. And it is great timing with Elite Airways to resume travel and expand their flights. So many people have that collective pent-up feeling. I know I did. And they're ready to travel and get out and get normal and get their lives energized again. A lot of people are traveling this weekend, my family and my father, at vacations here. So it's a great time to do that. And joining us in our conversation is our producer, Phil Bird. Good morning,
Hey,
there, Phil.
Hey, everybody, what's up?
And my father, Wayne Belden, president of Belden Communications. How you doing there, Pop?
I am doing fantastic. I know you're getting ready to go on vacation next
Yes,
week.
sir.
And so am I. So I'm all excited to be in an airport.
Yeah.
The Space Coast is very proud of this airport, and lots of renovation is going on. And I know that Rob will talk about the tour operator who will be bringing UK travelers here to the Space Coast next year. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. That's cool.
Between increased space launches, cruising to begin in late July, and the central location of the Space Coast, to many attractions, we can say that our area is ready, willing, and excited to welcome visitors back to the Space Coast.
Yes, and with more ways to get here, I want to introduce now David Dow. Welcome, David, and Robert Himler. Rob, as we call him.
Hello, Robert.
You guys, yes, Robert.
I know. I feel like I'm in trouble.
Oh, I know. If we say Robert, he's in trouble.
Right. Robert Himler, you come here.
Anyway, good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So, today's an exciting day. You started, I believe, was it yesterday that you started Elite Airways, the resumed?
Yep. We started yesterday. The flight went out to White Plains, then on to Portland, and then it'll come back here on Sunday.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. A lot of people are great. My niece, by the way, is in Portland right now,
Very nice.
enjoying the lobster, sending me back pictures of all the fun that she's having. So that's a wonderful opportunity. So tell us about you. Tell us, how you got started with Elite Airways and what's going on with Elite and what's their future plans.
Well, Elite's been around a lot longer than people realize. The company was started in 2006. Actually, we've been around for that long. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
15 years.
It takes a long time to develop an airline. It's not something. The barrier to entry into the market is a bit extraordinary. So it took us about 5 or 6 years to get to the point where we were allowed to be an airline. You sit around and don't make any money for 5 or 6 years, which is why not a lot of people do this. And
Sounds
then,
like my business. That's
So,
hard.
so there's a lot of restrictions just to become an airline. I mean, I know it's expensive, obviously, to buy the equipment and licenses, but
that before any of that happens, you have to get a couple things in order. You have to apply to the FAA to become an operationally fit, and then you have to apply to the DOT to be economically fit, and that's just the very first day. And
wow.
And then you spend the next however long it is to go through and build your manuals. And I could talk. It's not very exciting, but it's
There's a lot to it.
well, I'll tell you, it's interesting because it isn't very exciting, but it was really exciting for me at the time because when John Pearsall, who's the CEO and president and CEO of Elite Airways, I met him because he was president of another airline, and I saw him not too long afterwards, and he says, "Yeah, I'm starting a new airline." I'm like, "Cool, I want in." You know, 'cause I don't know if I can say this or not, but it sounds pretty sexy. You know,
Yeah,
and I was
right.
like, I want to be part of an airline.
That's
That
okay.
sounds really neat.
Yeah.
And so
Ground floor of it,
he said,
too.
"Yeah, come on, let's do it." And so we did it, and I had no idea what I was getting into, none. So 5 years later, literally 5 years later, of writing on a computer, answering questions for the FAA, going to hearings and all this stuff, they finally said, "Okay, go ahead. Now you can become an airline." And that was when we actually chose Melbourne, Florida, to be our home. So we built. That's why we have flights to Portland, is because this is where we started. The airline was in Portland, Maine.
Gotcha.
I'm born and bred in Maine, and I'm a Mainer. John Pearsall has a home up there, but we were looking for a southern home, and we at the time Richard Ennis was the executive director here at the Melbourne Airport, and he was very supportive of the airline, and we just made the decision to come down here, and here we are to this day.
So Elite Airways is the sexy airline.
Yeah, well, it seemed sexy at the time. What it turned out to be is a lot of hard work and,
Right.
an extraordinary experience. I mean, I've got the T-shirt. I don't necessarily wouldn't do it again, but it was really cool to start from the idea
Right.
all the way to a Part 121 commercial scheduled air carrier with CRJ 700s, 900s, and 200s.
I mean,
So-
honestly, I would think, right, to look at the plane and say, I did that. I was part of that. That's pretty impressive.
It
That's
was
my
for
baby.
Right, exactly.
No, I'm very proud of it. We all are very proud of it. I mean, it's extraordinary. And now, this is 2006. I came on in 2008 was really when I showed up. But that's, 13 years later, I'm still here. We talked about wearing
Yeah,
the
it's
same logo
great.
shirt for 13 years. So here I am. So
Now our listeners that are up there in that area to go to either Portland or to White Plains to get here, does Elite go other places as well?
Well, yeah, we're a scheduled air carrier as well as a charter air carrier. So as far as most of the listeners here are concerned, going from Portland down to White Plains down to Melbourne, and then from Melbourne we're going to be flying to Newark, and because we've flown from Vero, and that's the Vero to Newark, and we're going to continue on with that route out of Melbourne to Newark. So those are the routes we go to now. We also fly to Sarasota, so you can go from White Plains to Sarasota. You go to Portland to Sarasota.
Oh, okay.
So there's a
Really?
little bit more to the story than just Melbourne. Melbourne is our home. I mean, we live here. I have a family here. This is really where we do our work every day, day in and day out.
Well, we just want to let our listeners know they're up in that area. They have a direct flight, right? Or
Yeah,
direct flight.
That's what I wanted to know,
Yeah.
because I'm interested in that in White Plains, because that's where I'm from. So
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Yeah. So White Plains is a bit of a crapshoot for us, but White Plains is a very popular airport. It's a little bit of an unusual airport. It's not like Newark is obviously an international. It's a huge airport. There's thousands of people there. Although everything's changed, but things are getting back to normal now. Yeah, I mean, White Plains and Portland. Listen, Portland is a great city. I lived there for many, many years, and I can't tell you how much fun. I met my wife there, and we were without children for a number of years, and just had it's just. I mean, you guys have been there.
Yeah.
The restaurants there, the bars, the scene, and the old port. And frankly, I'm a Mainer. So although I live here,
Mainer.
I say I'm a Mainer living in exile.
I hadn't heard that terminology before, a Mainer.
I mean,
Yeah, you
Mainer.
obviously have a lot of relatives still in Portland, so
Yeah, that's no, I'm Portland. I'm from Central Maine. Which is,
Okay.
I'm even more of a Mainer. I could go into the Maine drawl if you'd like.
yeah.
but
No, that's okay.
My father
That's
told me
okay.
years ago not to bother with that.
Yeah. So Rob, now Rob and I go back because when you first started Elite Airlines and we had our first trip from here, Rob and I, working in tourism, we took a trip and took several of our salespeople with hotels up there so that we could go and meet with the travel agents up there and tell them, look, you need to sell this to your people and let them come here to Florida Space Coast because of all the attractions and things that we have. And that was a great trip, wasn't it, Rob?
It was amazing to just get here nonstop right up there.
And
to
Rob
a
had-
place that you might not necessarily always go to.
Exactly.
So to have that service, it's a reason to take a weekend trip or a trip to someplace new. So.
Right. So when we do leave from here to go, I know that there are certain days that you come back. Can you kind of give us what that schedule is like?
Yeah. So currently, yesterday was the inaugural flight. So with White Plains, nonstop to White Plains, and correct me if I'm wrong anywhere, continuing service onto Portland. So the departures from MLB are on Thursdays and Sundays, and the returns are on Fridays and Mondays.
Great.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual. We have to be creative as a smaller air carrier. So that was one of the ideas we came up with, was to do this to service Sarasota and Melbourne, because right now our planes are in high demand, and so we wanted to serve Sarasota, and we want to serve Melbourne, and we want to serve White Plains and Portland. So to put this all together, we sat around a table like you do at any job, and you come up with an idea. And this is a bit unusual, but we think it's gonna work. And the thing is, right now, it's just about. It's for us. It's identifying what works. So as people show up and fly on these flights and get on these flights and take advantage of Elite Airways, we will add more routes. We will add more aircraft.
Right, I know. Rob and I were just talking and saying the same thing, and hoping that the more people that will take the airways with you, the more that you'll be able to do. So we just got to encourage people to do.
Absolutely.
And I know in the background we're getting ready for a Delta flight.
We're going on a
takeoff,
flight.
I think.
Yeah, they're announcing, right.
Yeah,
Now
Delta's
everyone rush to get on the plane, right? Let's run right up there and
But-
get on the
but-
plane and sit.
Right.
This is a busy weekend. I mean, you know, everybody, we were talking before, and, you know, the pent-up energy that people have, they're ready to go out on vacation. And it's so obvious because now we have so many people that are arriving at the airports to go. But this is a great example of Melbourne, that you can arrive here. It's so easy to get in, easy to get out. That's one of the highlights of what, I know you have a list of 10 great things about the Melbourne Airport.
Yes.
And that's one of them, is the easy in and easy out.
Absolutely.
Even the security, it wasn't bad. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I've been in some other airports that you would just
And you
wanna
didn't have to
cry
wait in
thinking about it.
line.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't. You're very efficient, and you get you through at a good speed, and it was a very comfortable experience getting through here this morning. So yes.
Well, I think that's one of the best parts about the partnership with Elite and Melbourne is it's stress-free the whole way.
Yeah.
It's stress-free when you arrive to the airport, when you go through the airport, when you board, when you fly, and when you land. It's the whole partnership together really makes
That's
it
how
work.
vacation should be, right?
That's right.
That's what we
And-
want it to be.
And speaking of vacations, let's go ahead and talk about the Beachside Hotel and Suites, because
Yes.
when you arrive here on Florida Space Coast and you're here, you're just like 20 minutes down the road, right on the beach is the Beachside Hotel. They've done that renovation. They've got that
$6
lazy
million.
river that goes down the length of the hotel. And they have great weekend entertainment. They've got the football games that are on the big screen there.
That's right.
And it's a great place to just hang out and enjoy Florida life, you know?
It is, and they're very accommodating, just like Elite Airways and the airport here, the Melbourne Orlando International Airport. They're very accommodating at Beachside Hotel and Suites, so that's why I'm a family guy. And I love the fact that they provide everything, whether it be the bicycles, whether it be the boogie boards, anything you need, they'll give it to you. So if you're coming down and you're flying Elite Airways down to Melbourne International Airport, make sure you stay at the Beachside Hotel and Suites. It's a great place, fun.
And you know, this airport really gets you in the mood to party, because when you walk off the aircraft through those telescope things, what do you call those things?
Jet
anyway?
bridge.
Jet bridge telescope.
Okay. Well, whenever you walk off, there is a tiki hut bar right inside the terminal.
You
here.
love those
I
tiki
love
hut bars.
tiki hut bars,
Yeah.
and that's one of my all-time favorites, along with
Yeah,
longboards.
We've been talking about that ever since we left there. Each podcast, when we start talking about going out to the bar or whatever, he said that tiki over there at Melbourne International Airport.
Well, we know where he's going to go when this
Yeah,
broadcast
right.
is over. That this Friday, but go to Beachside Hotel Cocoa Beach .com and you can look and see the videos and see the beautiful pictures that they've got. Have you seen the video that they have online? I don't know if you've seen the new one they've
On
done.
the website?
It's on the website,
think
but
so, yes.
it shows what it looks like in the morning when the sun's coming up, and then it goes all through the day, and then it has the night, and
wow.
with all lit up, and it's got that great retro look. So the colors are very vibrant. But anyway, it's a great location. Michelle Martindale's the sales director there, and a very good friend of Rob and I, and so we would love for you to give him a call, and we'll see you over at the Beachside.
Awesome.
That's
Listen, I'll even chime in here a little bit with
Yeah.
this whole thing. One of the reasons we chose Melbourne was because the fact of the matter is this is just a secret. I don't know why it's a secret, but you've got these Cocoa Beach. The beaches in Melbourne are
Beautiful.
they're beautiful, and there's
Absolutely
no one on them. It's like you don't want to. It's like in Maine. We're kind of like this,
Right.
Don't tell anyone about Maine. Don't
Best
tell
kept
anyone.
secret.
People will start showing up,
Right.
and we want people to show up because this is what we do for a living, and that's why we're here today. But when you come to Melbourne and you take advantage of the tourism that Melbourne has to offer, it's
Yeah.
extraordinarily Well, it's just enjoyable because you're not standing in line. You're not with the masses. It is just I don't know. It's for me coming to Melbourne, and when I tell people I live in Florida, I tell them where I live. Sometimes they have to describe where I am.
Because if you say Melbourne, they go, "Oh, Australia."
They do have there is a bit of confusion.
Good
day, mate.
But Cocoa Beach, I say, and one of the reasons I say
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach is because when you say the word cocoa, what do you think? You think about smells. You think about the
Hershey's.
beach. You think about just very touristy.
tropical
I dream of
tropical. You think about fun. You know, it's anyway. So I usually say around Cocoa Beach. Just 'cause
Yeah.
I
it's
think of hot
easy to say.
cocoa, but when you say cocoa.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, but Mainers aren't thinking hot cocoa when they're thinking Florida. They
But
want nothing to do with that.
You know, I was raised in. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I've got a question. I've been trying to get in edgewise, but you don't.
Oh well, excuse me. I thought we were here on a talk show.
I'm curious. What type of aircraft does Elite fly?
We fly. It's called the Canadian Regional Jet. It's a Bombardier product. I guess that's probably more than you wanted to know. It's a regional jet, so it gets 2 and 2 configurations. So you have when you come on the aircraft, you have 2 seats and 2 seats, and that's what they're called, CRJs for short. So CRJ 200s, we have 700s and 900s, and the number just indicates how many seats we have. Sort of.
700 must have 70
You
seats.
got it, Bonnie.
And the
You're on.
900 must have 90
You
seats.
got it.
And I'll
got
bet
it.
you, and I will bet you that the 200 has 50 seats.
Oh my gosh, you were listening, weren't
I'm
you?
Boy,
telling you.
This is why she gets the big bucks.
I'm
She has a
telling
cheat
you.
sheet over there.
They don't need me.
Hey, I'll tell you. No, I love the name Elite. I mean, I have to ask you, how did you guys come with the name Elite?
That was John. John showed up with that. He showed up with the logo when we first. That was his idea. The idea of Elite Airways. This is a bit of a trivia question. Actually started not in Maine. Actually started in Las Vegas. That's where the actual filing for the certificate was, and then he moved it immediately to Maine, and where it really was formed. But that was he came with that. So
Okay,
no
so
great
Elite,
story
it's
there.
like a step above.
Yeah, it's
you
better
know?
than everybody else, right? It's Elite.
Love it.
Speaking of trivia,
of that,
you guys want to do that?
Oh, no.
Trivia. Here we
Let's
go.
Okay.
Here we
All
go.
right.
Is that how that works?
All right. I
That's
guess
kind of how it works. Let's play
trivia.
East Coast Trivia.
All right. I've been practicing.
All right. I gave John all the answers.
That's right.
What is sea turtle?
What is sea turtle? You know, in high school they teach you if you don't know the answer, just say C. And
Yeah,
odds are you'll get it right.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know
Oh,
that?
I didn't know that. Gee, now you tell me.
Check
Well,
my
I
SAT
I
scores.
passed with a very high average.
Yeah, if you run out of time, CC.
C.
All right.
Okay,
So,
guys,
what kind of questions are you going to ask
Space
us
Coast
today?
Trivia. Today in Space Coast Trivia, we're actually doing a special because it is the holiday weekend. We're doing the 4th of July trivia, okay? So I
Okay.
have some questions
4th of
about
July.
our
4th of July.
great country and the origin of our country. So how this works, we have 2 teams split up. We have Bonnie, we have Rob, and we have
David.
David.
You got it, man.
Dave or Dave? Which
Doesn't
one's
matter.
better? Okay,
Dave's
we have
fine.
Dave versus the Beldens. So if you guys have the answer, just say your name.
No pressure.
I'll stop.
Can I say Bonnie's name? Is it easier?
Yeah, you can. All right, so let's get started.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, the music makes it even worse.
I know. Bonnie always stresses out over
I,
this.
I do.
I'm ready for
Stressed.
Your little
hand
buzzer?
behind my back.
Hand behind.
That'll be the next thing you'll give us buzzers. Let's hear it.
All right, these are easy questions. Okay.
Okay.
Where was the first celebration of Independence Day held?
Say
Say your
your
name.
name.
Philadelphia.
Rob,
Rob.
You-
Rob, say it.
what he said.
Say
Philadelphia.
it.
Yeah.
Whose team are you on, Dad?
So Rob said his
Rob
name.
said
You
his
gotta
name.
say-
Rob got it.
Oh,
Yay.
rules,
Way to
rules.
go, Rob.
One for the good guy.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
For the record, I
got
knew
the
it before he
answer
said it.
All right.
Yeah.
Remember, say your
I believe
name
you.
if
I
have the
believe
answer.
you.
Don't say the answer, but say
Okay.
your name.
Who you work for over there, Phil?
All right. Okay. You know the Liberty Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times do they ring it on Independence Day?
Oh, I know what I'd say.
It's
but
it's a multiple choice question.
Is it okay?
Well,
let's
then give us the multiple
choice.
choices.
Well, I want to see if I knew
I
off
think
the
I know
hand.
it.
Wow, how many times?
All right. Is it 7, 13,
It's 13. That's what I
or
was gonna say.
15?
John,
John,
13.
It's got to be.
you
I
gotta
should
say
have
Oh,
said
you got-
13. I said Bonnie.
I-
I said
he-
Bonnie.
You like that strategy?
I said Bonnie.
No,
I
you
said
did.
Dave.
You didn't say anything. You just
No, I
said
said Bonnie before you even get there.
We'll understand the rules on the last
rollback.
question.
All right.
Don't worry.
Okay,
I want
all
a
right.
replay on that.
All right, we're tied.
Okay.
This is the
All right.
tiebreaker.
Tied.
All right, here we go. The 4th of July commemorates what document?
Dave.
Dave?
Declaration of Independence.
That is.
You know, I'm saying it in my head.
I know.
All right, so 2
Yay.
1. All right, 2 more
Okay.
questions here, guys.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
All right. How many stars and stripes does the U.S. flag have?
Rob.
Rob?
Yeah. 50 stars, 13 stripes.
That is
Yay, Rob. I love
All
it.
right, and this last one is worth 2
I'm allowing our
points.
guests to answer the
All
question.
right.
Yes.
Bonnie's the ringleader. Okay. Everybody loves to eat on 4th of July, right?
Yes.
What is the contest that's held every year? on
Bonnie.
4th Bonnie.
Wayne.
The hot dog
hot
eating
dog.
contest.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I
Let's see
love
the
hot
chance.
dogs.
Oh, look at the disappointment on Wayne's face. John, you're walking home.
It's great.
He was
Thank
great
you
last
guys.
week.
Thank
You
you.
point at me, but I've carried us the past 2 weeks. It's your turn.
You
So-
weren't on my team last week.
Well, look what happened. I beat
Hey,
you.
on July 4th, what are we going to be doing? I mean, we're going to be sitting around, right? We're going to be
Eating
having a
hot
good
dogs.
time and having doing the firecrackers and whatever, and eating hot dogs
And planning your next trip on Elite Airways out of
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Very
Of course.
true.
There you go.
Absolutely, that's very true. So, Rob, tell us what's happening with the airport here, because I know there's a lot of renovation going on, a lot
Yes.
of building and everything, because some cool things are happening.
Yes, yeah, we are planning for quite the expansions here. They're already underway on the other side over there. About $61 million we're putting into this terminal.
That's it?
Wow.
just
Wow.
just some change, you know,
Wow.
and some change
another
probably.
another Tiki Hut bar?
yeah,
maybe?
yeah, no, a bigger
A bigger one.
A bigger
Yes.
one.
We're adding about 80,000 square feet to the terminal. They're going to
Wow.
have 3 new jet bridges in addition to what we already have here, including new concessions, bigger hold room, new security checkpoint. Everyone loves to hear,
Yes.
and a bigger area for our U.S. Customs, the international arriving area too. That'll be enlarged, and with a new welcome center for our new international visitors next year. That we're
And you know
We're
what?
getting prepared
Knowing
for.
you guys and how you do, you're still going to move smooth here. And that's going to be the
Absolutely.
exciting thing is you guys do it right. I mean,
We
that you
we
really
want to
do.
be that stress-free airport no matter what happens, and all of our passengers, whether you're flying Elite, Delta, American, are going to be able to take advantage of all of these expansions.
Don't worry, we're going to be using that international terminal.
That's
I
right.
know
There
you
we
guys.
go.
I
Come
mean,
on, we're ready.
Listen, that's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for this area. It's a big deal for this airport. You don't want to downplay it because that international, the economic impact that those planes will have coming in here from Europe will be
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Very true.
But that also allows us to do flights to the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos and all kinds of cool places. So we kind of want to. We've always had this idea of being sort of the gateway to the Caribbean and the Bahamas from Florida. Florida is a huge market, even domestically in Florida, inside the state. I mean, there's 2 or 3 million people over in Orlando. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Space Coast isn't the same Space Coast it was even 5 years ago. I
Right.
mean,
Oh, no.
the amount of jobs that are here, the economic growth here, even through COVID. I mean, we
Yep.
all
Right.
went through it, but you know, it's amazing what's going on here, which is why we're back. You know, we were like, so what do we do here? Let's get back into Melbourne because it's going to be the place to be. Beautiful airport. These guys are doing a fabulous job with the well. First of all, the runway is 11,000 feet, so pilots
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Nice.
But you know, this terminal is going to that international terminal is going to be a big deal.
Well,
Thanks,
and
Dave.
your timing again is right? Because right now we're having record numbers of tourism in Brevard County and the Space Coast.
The pent-up demand is incredible,
Yep.
and it's going to be carry on into the next couple of years. I mean, people have longed for a vacation now at this point, and people are spending,
Yep.
and they're spending on vacations. Those moments down here in the sunshine, getting out of their houses. So
They love
we're
it.
excited.
It's gonna be good.
And like you said, David, you talking about the beaches earlier. And I grew up in Daytona Beach, and it's just crowded.
Yeah.
And you come here, you know, with Space Coast Fun Guide, one thing that I actually enjoy doing is when we're doing distribution, because when I get to the Beachside, I love hitting the different beaches. And Melbourne has truly an absolutely beautiful beach.
Does anyone know the number of miles?
72.
72 miles?
72. We
Everyone
are
in-
the longest. Our county is the longest one in Florida that has the most beach.
Continuous beach.
72
And
miles
it's-
of beach.
It's
You're supposed to say your name first.
That's right. That's right. There we go.
What is
That was-
72?
yeah.
That
It's-
was a
it's-
Space Coast trivia question.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's slightly different along the way, though. From Titusville, you got Linda Beach, you got Cocoa Beach, which is a whole
Mhm.
nother atmosphere. You've got Satellite Beach, you got Indian Harbor Beach, Melbourne.
Yep.
But it's beautiful the whole way.
What's
It's
cool about it
breathtaking.
as an outsider coming in, I don't know at what point I'm not an outsider. I mean, I've been here for 12 years. In Maine, you have to actually be born in Maine to not be an outsider. But, you know, what's cool is those beaches. You got Pelican Beach, you got all these beaches that are lined up along the beach, and there's only so much parking that there is, and there's plenty of parking because there's plenty of places to go into, but it like distributes the population of people on the beach. So you're not shoulder to shoulder
Right.
with people on the beach.
Yep.
Now, there are some beaches that have great surfing, have a better break.
Right.
That's a big thing around here. I think that needs to be talked about because I think that is a big pull for Cocoa Beach, particularly is the surfing. And So.
Are you a surfer, Dave?
I'm not a surfer. Well, I'm an aspiring
You're going to
surfer.
say something about surfing, I could tell.
Oh, if only I could do a push-up,
Yeah.
then, that'd be fine. But because
We'll
I don't know
have
if you know this or not, but you
competition
watch
when you
surfers, they make it look easy. You got to get up
Right.
on the thing, so you got to push yourself up and stand. That looks so
There's
easy.
practice, though,
My kids do it; it's fine. But I get out there and it's pretty much a disaster. But it's fun to try.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, and one of the other things that we've always mentioned too is that how many rocket launches we now have going on.
Right.
And we just had one. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
I lose track.
You lose count, right?
I do, but that one we were back to. It took a different.
Trajectory?
Yeah, thank you very much. The
welcome.
word went out of my mouth. But anyway, when it did, the windows were really rattling this time for a long time.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel that?
It
My
rumbles
wife
here
talked
at
about.
the
She didn't know what it
airport.
was.
Yeah, what?
Was it yesterday
Yeah.
or the other day?
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Jennifer was talking. My wife Jennifer was talking about something that was
Yes.
explosions of some sort. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's got to be a rocket.
Yeah.
Yes, it was the rocket, and it went for like at least almost 2 minutes of just the rattling, and the
Well,
dogs barking and everything. It was a long time.
Then the sonic boom.
And the sonic boom
when
that
the
came back,
boosters
yeah.
come back to land, you hear that boom.
Is that
boom.
not the
boom,
coolest
boom.
thing?
It's very cool.
It's
All right,
incredible.
So
Yeah.
when you were a kid and someone told you they were going to land a rocket, you would have laughed at them. I mean, how
Right.
funny is that? And you watch that stuff come down.
Oh,
to
it's
me, Jeff,
amazing.
all the space stuff to me as as just a common individual watching that stuff go on. That landing of those boosters is just nothing short of amazing.
It is amazing. And I heard today, and gosh, his name just went out of my head. The guy that has the airplane and
Richard Branson.
Thank you, Richard Branson is actually going up July 11th. He's going to beat Elon Musk.
Yeah, it seems like there's quite the competition
There's a little
there.
competition
Really?
going on, but he's going up on July 11th. And I guess 9 days later, I guess Elon Musk's group is going up.
Well,
so
let's-
he's going to beat him up there.
If you want to get technical, Elon put his car up there already, so he
True.
kind of was
Yeah,
first, right?
Spaceman's still
Yeah, and
up
that
there.
spaceman, he's still up
And
there.
let's face it, going up is not the problem.
It's coming
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's coming down to one piece.
I don't know. Would you go if you had the opportunity? Would you go?
There's not a chance in it that I would go.
There's not a chance I would
Oh,
go. Now Rob is
100%.
shaking his head.
I'm
Rob would
ready.
go.
Sign me up.
Probably,
Wow.
I would send him up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
See,
do
there you
it.
go.
You
You
could
go do it.
you could plant a building communications flag. up
That's
there.
right. We
You know.
can do a podcast up there. I'll
I hear
take
it's-
one for the team.
I hear it like it's at 11 minutes. I think they're going up and it's like 11 minutes and then they come back down. But boy, I don't care. I couldn't do it. I'd be too scared.
Yeah, roller coasters scare me. So I'm
Yeah.
not going on.
Well, see, I was thinking about that honestly. I don't like roller coasters either, but I feel like this would be a different feeling. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously,
In what way?
I just the drop in a roller coaster compared to for some reason I feel like this would be more graceful coming back down.
Yeah.
I
I don't
mean,
know, maybe.
I don't know. It
To
just,
me, all of this is absolutely mind-blowing because when I was a little kid growing up, the Wright brothers had just, taken off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. yeah.
Hey.
Never mind.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we also want to talk about Longboard's Tiki Bar,
Yes.
which
Oh, a
is
tiki hut,
located.
yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about another Tiki Bar, and that's
Okay.
Longboards, which is located at the Hilton Oceanfront in Cocoa Beach. Has a beautiful, beautiful restaurant bar, big Tiki Bar that they've got there. Great fire pits so that you can sit around at night, have great drinks, great food, entertainment on the weekends. Fabulous location right at the beach, and you can walk up from the beach, and they
That's
also
the
have
cool
a little tiki bar at the end of the
Right.
their runway
They
there.
have like a smaller
runway.
version of the
Walk-
big one.
Walkway.
Yeah, they have a
Boardwalk.
Yeah,
The
I'm going to call it a
approach.
runway because of where we are today.
Yeah.
True
But-
story. That was to fall in love with Melbourne. Hilton was a huge part for me. It was the first hotel we went to here. We came down here to go meet with Richard at the time, and I stayed at that hotel and hung out at that tiki bar. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, I want
Yeah.
to live here.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure
Well,
enough,
just-
here we are.
It's a great
Again,
local
you're
hangout.
at the beach
Yeah.
all day, and then when you come off the beach, you're going right through that tiki bar, and it's like, wait a second, I'm not ready to go home yet.
Yeah, it's nice,
The
man.
food is incredible. They do live music all weekend, so
Yeah.
especially right now, it's the time to go because they have live music all weekend. The chicken wings is fantastic. Are fantastic. Their salad, Phil. Let me tell you something, bro. Their salad.
I mean, you had me at chicken.
Phil
wings.
likes
I know,
Phil
right? Let
likes
me tell you
salad.
something. But I got a what was it, blackened chicken Caesar salad? I think it was or something. It was
Okay, now I'm hungry.
bro.
I
I'm
know.
telling you, fantastic. So
It's a beachfront property.
it is.
I mean,
Yeah, it
it's,
is.
It's as as cool as it sounds.
NFL ticket, so you can come watch the games. The drinks, they're a heavy pour. I mean, it's a good spot.
Longboardstiki.com if you want to go look at the pictures.
right?
It's
I
great.
just bought a house near it, right 1,000 feet away from it. So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm going
Let's go. Come
Oh,
on.
so you're living on Cocoa Beach.
India Harbor.
Oh, Indian Harbor.
India Harbor. That's where I believe that's where the Hilton is.
Well, and it's open
Oh.
to the public.
Oh, you're talking about Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach.
Right.
Yes.
Right on.
Longboards
Okay.
Tiki's
Well,
a go. But they have a
but
great
they-
one too in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure.
do. They have the longboards are actually
Yeah.
all the properties around here. So, but again, it's open to the public, so you don't have to be staying at the hotel. So you know,
Really?
yeah. A lot of people don't know that. So
Take
go there,
advantage of it.
check it out, man.
Staycation.
It's definitely
Well, the Cocoa Beach, the beach area in Cocoa is where we go with my kids because that beach goes out so far. So it's got a great break. Got a great break on it, and it's safe. You know that beach. I know exactly what you're talking about because we go to Laurie Wilson Park, which
Yeah.
is right next to that hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another great thing about our beach that I want to comment on, we have a lot of runners that like to run, and our beach is definitely flat where you can run. There are many beaches that have the curvature that goes down, and you can't. It's you're going to run lopsided, not good. Cocoa Beach, nice and flat, great place to run. And speaking of that, we're going to be having Mitch Varnes, who runs a lot of events here, marathon races on the beach, etc. He's going to be our guest in end of July, and he's going to be talking about some upcoming events too. And one of the things he does is because our beach is so cool to
He's
run
going to
on.
have a
So
major announcement, I
He
understand.
does have a major announcement.
Wonderful.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be fun.
Cool.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
major
good.
Award.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
So,
What's that
so let me ask you a question. You guys bill yourself as the pet-friendly airline.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. Lead.
Yes, thank you for
Needed-
bringing
needed
that up.
because that's that is the strangest thing about our. We decided at the very beginning that we were going to be pet friendly. I'm not sure exactly why that decision was made because we all had dogs at the time, and my dog Katie at the time was flying on the airline. regularly,
Katie,
so,
how sweet.
Yeah, she's no longer with us this year. She was a nice big chocolate lab, but she
Oh, I love
she
labs.
she would fly in the old days when we would fly. She'd fly in the cockpit. I have a picture of the pilot sitting there patting her.
Oh, sweet.
Anyway, so we are pet friendly, and that's fairly unusual within the industry. And so if you have Fido, we're
What about a
happy to-
giraffe?
A giraffe?
No.
I want to.
No.
No,
I think
probably.
My
I didn't wanna
niece
go
has a
with that.
petting zoo. She's got lemurs. Lemurs. They've got.
Can we take Sweetie, the alligator?
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
We've
right?
had some pretty weird stuff. Now,
What about kangaroo?
I mean, we haven't had kangaroos, but we've had a lot of birds. That's another one that we've had on there. I mean,
That'd be a
it's
cool
weird.
TV commercial to make.
yeah.
That would be to
But
show that.
It's a little bit of Noah's Ark, I will say, not to make a biblical reference, but I'll tell you, when you go up on Elite Airways, it is like they come on by twos.
But they're crated. I mean, it's not like you got a dog just hanging out on a leash.
no,
or-
not really. I mean, so if like Katie, for example, my dog would come on with me, and as long as she was about 50 pounds, and so she was able to curl up, and they curl up real small. They're dogs, they're den
Right.
animals, and they're right under the seat in front of you. It's really not a big deal. Even a bigger dog you wouldn't think could do that. It's okay for them to do it. Now, generally speaking, that costs one. If they're any bigger than that, then you have to buy a seat.
Right.
So they have the
Makes
whole
sense.
area.
But
That's really the only
Listen,
thing.
if anything,
So
I've
what, right?
I've learned about pet lovers, especially
They'll
in the
buy
Space
the
Coast,
seat.
They'll pay for it.
They'll buy the
First
seat.
class.
They don't care.
So do they use like the lavatory, or do they have a porta potty for
Well, our
them,
flights aren't that long. Dogs are cool with that.
But
No, they're
cats.
good.
I mean, cats.
Cats, dogs. Like I said, it's
Wow.
Noah's Ark, man.
I did not know that, Phil.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, there's a couple things I think that we should all know about you guys, especially the two of you, because we all know about Bonnie, we all know about Wayne, we all know about myself, and we all know about John. But I think it's time that we find out
Uh-oh.
3 things that you may not know about Rob and Dave
Oh no.
and Elite Airways and Orlando International Melbourne Airport. All right. You liked that, didn't you?
3 things you need to know, brought to you by, once again, Longboard Tiki Beach Grill and Cocoa Beach. So, guys, go ahead, and we've already touched on a couple of things. I did not know that Elite was pet-friendly, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe give us 3 things you need to know, Rob, 3 things you didn't know either about yourself or the airport here that you could tell us.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I think
Oh, on the spot.
Dum,
on the
dum,
spot.
dum.
he can do it.
I mean, as an aviation nerd, I will say the first time I flew, I came down here to Florida to fly because I fell in love with flight. And the reason I did, the first time I was about 16 years old, and my Uncle Pete took me up flying up in New York. We went for pancakes up in Watertown. And
Oh wow!
I like Watertown.
you know, I
Watertown
thought I was going to be
pancakes.
able to go, check it out, see if I like it. Yeah, it's awesome. Until he said, you're in charge of the brakes because he was paralyzed from waist down. So he had this really awesome contraption, if you'll call it, that he can control the yoke and everything. But at 16 years old, your first flight, you're like, wait, what?
And he didn't even tell you beforehand.
Didn't tell me until
Oh,
we
He's
were up
got
in
you
the air.
on there.
So then my
Wow.
hands start sweating.
Yeah,
right?
really.
And I'm like, okay, I got this. So yeah,
And you did
first time,
good.
and it was fine. But that's the
He
only
made
thing
it.
he usually needs help with is to fully stop on the runway.
So what if
it
he's
was
by
fun.
himself? Then
He usually flies with someone.
Gotcha.
Yep.
He usually.
Bumpers around.
Yeah, I guess all the
Yeah,
time flies with
he
someone.
has to fly
but
with
yeah,
somebody.
Yeah, nothing stops him. Absolutely. So
Well, I'll tell
that
you-
was
He
Well,
has to be a friendly guy by necessity.
you would think so, right?
absolutely.
So I'll take it easy on you guys, so you guys can share. So David, is there one that maybe you could throw in for a second one,
Oh, stories about aviation.
or
No,
something
something
interesting
about
that we
you.
know
Something
about
about
that we
yourself
don't
or
know.
Let's see here. Couple things. Why don't I tell you two things that are not true, and I'll tell you one that is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're throwing some trivia at us. All right.
So we have to try to guess which is the truth.
Right. So
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, for example.
Okay.
I am a pilot. I'm not certified in the jet, but I am certified as a pilot. I have a class
Okay.
medical. I'm a classically trained pianist, and I speak fluent Spanish.
Wow.
I think you're a pianist.
I think.
want to go with that
I
one.
think he's a what?
Nah, I think he's.
Pianist.
He's a pianist.
I think he speaks Spanish.
Really, I was going with pilot.
Well, we got all three.
Well, we got all three. Okay.
I was going to say pilot.
You're going to say, well, he probably is a pilot since he's
Right.
with, you know.
I know that
Right.
seems too obvious to me,
It,
though.
it really does. That's why I said Spanish.
Pianist.
Because I just can't, I don't see you sitting at a piano.
I
I
do.
think I'm hoping for piano though.
I know. I think there's. I'm.
Wait a second, let me
I know,
see your
I'm good at reading
hands.
people.
Let me
I
see
think
your
the
hands.
piano would be fun.
I'm
yeah.
good at reading people. I could see that about you.
So you think I'm a pianist?
Yes, a pianist. A pianist.
Watch how you
Right,
pronounce
yeah, I was
that
going to
word.
say careful,
I-
careful,
I-
careful.
That is
Yeah.
very true. I
So-
am.
This is a
I
clean
told
You
you.
are. Oh, my. Okay.
See.
I speak Spanish, but not very well.
Como se llama?
I had a feeling. I could see that. Right. So, yeah.
I'm not a pilot, which is a bit odd.
You know,
Well,
how,
Not really.
you know how I knew
I fly all the
that.
time. Listen, I'm flying with these guys all the time, either in jets or John Pearsall has a lot of. John Pearsall, the president and CEO of Elite Airways, is a very experienced 757 pilot. He's probably got 25, 30,000 or more hours in a 757. He has his own plane. He's got a private plane. That's a prop plane he flies. And I'm with him a lot, and we fly all the time. And I've got some great stories that I couldn't tell you here.
Great. We'll
but
meet in the tiki bar after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
these people who fly, these pilots, are truly amazing because it's not like you're driving a car. So you have to drive, you have to fly the thing, you got to navigate, and you got to communicate. There's these three things
Right.
going on simultaneously, and I've watched him do this for years. And I could probably do one of those. I could probably fly the plane. I could probably land it. I could probably, but communicating and navigate all at the same time. I
Right.
mean, it is just phenomenal. And I've seen John Pearsall. One time we were flying over to St. Pete and he was in his plane, and it was, it was what they call IFL, which is when they're flying with the instruments. And we're just in soup. I mean, you can't see a thing. We're bouncing around, and I'm just, I'm a little bit petrified, but trying not to let him know. He didn't care. He's flying along. He's like, I'm like, so where's the airport anyway? He's like, well, you probably see it right about now. Boom.
There it
all of a
was.
sudden opens up. There's the runway right in front of you. It just
Wow.
greases the landing. I'm like,
Wow.
man, these people do have a special knack.
It-
I know it's training, and they have a ton of training, but I'm just always amazed by it. But I'd rather kind of be involved in the company side of things.
Well,
than flying on planes.
like you get a vehicle, sometimes you name it, right? So when I bought my vehicle, I called it Captain Kirk. That's its name.
All right.
Because when I got in, there's all these gadgets, all these different lights and buttons, and I picture honestly inside the cockpit of an airplane, and I'm going, that's why there's so much training, because there's all these instruments, and I wouldn't know the first thing when I sit down, like, how do you even start the thing? So
It's phenomenal. These guys, our pilots are very well. We have our pilots all have very high time, and they call them pilots. In other words, they've got a lot of experience. I mean, we don't have a lot of newbies. I mean, these guys all have
They're very
10,
elite.
15 plus
Yes.
hours. They're elite.
They're
pilots.
step above.
They truly are.
Gotta live
Because
up
over
to
the
the
years, we've collected these guys
Yeah.
and girls from around the industry, and listen, when you're a smaller airline, it's kind of fun, and that's
Yeah.
why they're there.
Okay, so if somebody's listening to us right now up in White Plains and we've sold them on the idea of coming to Melbourne, what's your website? Where do they go to book
All
a
right,
Flight?
good. Nice segue as well. So www.eliteairways.com, just like you'd think it would be. So eliteairways.com, it goes right to our website, and you can, there you go. You'll have full access to all of our, or if you really decide you wanted to, you can go to Travelocity. I don't know. I work for Elite Airways, and even I go to Travelocity, right? So I'll go there and I'll search all the flights because I know it's an aggregate and it gets all the information. And then generally, this is my professional advice. I generally go to Elite Airways, or I'll go to Delta, or I'll go to United. Sorry, Travelocity, but I'll book directly with the airline. That's just it. Really is it's. I don't know if I should say that or not, but that's a bit of a secret. You want to.
So you'll actually those sites are actually good to use as far as pulling in information from everywhere.
Yeah, you want to aggregate. So JetBlue's on there. There are some airlines. I think is Allegiant on there on the GDS yet?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. You might have to go to AllegiantAir.com, which is their website, and I know they're our competition, but they're our friends too. I mean, we're all on the same.
That's cool.
We all do the
That's
same.
good
Work
to hear.
together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For the greater good of the tourism.
Well, yeah, it's for the greater good, and they're doing the same thing we are, which is a very unique, thing. So, and we have a great deal of respect for those guys. I mean, they know what they're doing. So.
Well, and speaking of Allegiant,
Yes.
I know you want to make a. Yeah, go ahead and tell us about Allegiant. It's a very exciting.
Just this week, Allegiant announced MLB as one of its newest cities. So they're going to start flying nonstop between MLB and Nashville,
Nice.
Concord, North Carolina, which is right outside of Charlotte,
Love it.
as well as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, nonstop right here to MLB.
Yeah.
So
MLB's getting
opening up
busy.
more doors to other communities to come down and check out the Space Coast.
I see they got 2 of their aircraft sitting right over
Yep,
there.
they also do a lot of their maintenance. That's STS is one of our. They bring in a lot of airlines for MRO work, which is maintenance, repair, and overhaul. So the standard checks, maintenance checks, and that kind of stuff. They do it all.
Very exciting. So
Have they been doing that? I'm sorry, Bonnie. Have they been? They'll actually fly here for that?
Yeah. So right now they'll fly with empty planes here. So. Now we're
Isn't that
excited they're going to be
interesting?
bringing full planes here.
They can do that anywhere, but they're flying into Melbourne for that.
That's right.
I mean,
Yep.
that's
Because we have the best.
yes.
and I
Well,
believe it.
don't kid yourself. These guys at the MLB, they've done a great job. They promoted that. They brought these guys
This
in, these
is-
MROs. Yeah, I mean that's something that the MLB guys go after, and it's a big job. A lot of jobs. It's another economic impact.
Yeah, and I know that airports compete for that type of business, so I know that they all put out their bids for that and say, hey, we want you to come to this area to do this. So imagine the guys that fly the plane in here to get fixed, and then they get to enjoy the Space Coast area. Oh, yeah, the
Right.
plane's getting overhauled. They're doing whatever. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to Kennedy Space
a
Center. I'm
great
going to
thing.
do whatever. Yeah, it's a
air
great
service
thing.
is an interesting world. Air
Yep.
service and trying to, especially for an airport that is one of the smaller ones in Florida, which is a competitive market, and Central Florida is a very competitive area. But we've got momentum with Elite and now Allegiant, Delta and American. So we're using this momentum to keep it going and
Well, you're
bring
doing
more
a great
options.
job,
Thank
Rob.
you. Yes, you
Great
are.
job.
The
The,
whole
airport's
team, our
wonderful. Your
executive
team is
director.
great. Your I don't want to interns. Your ambassadors that we met
Ambassadors, we have
today that are here.
incredible team of
Future
ambassadors.
pilots that are going to
Yes.
be happening, or helping us
Fantastic
out
Tiki
today.
Hut bar.
Yes, and
that
wonderful,
thing.
David, that you could take the time to be with us. This was such
Absolutely.
Yeah,
really,
this is an
really
honor.
good,
Thanks
very
for having me.
educational. And if you're living up in that Northeast area and you're going to come here to Florida Space Coast, please write to us at info at Space Coast Fun Guy and ask us any questions that you want. If you need any information, I know that John is busy handing out the Space Coast Fun Guide and sending it to people that are looking at coming into the area.
We're getting them every day. We're
It's
getting them from all over
wonderful.
the country. It's fantastic. So,
Comments are good.
SpaceCoastFunGuide.com, absolutely. SpaceCoastFunGuide.com. Go ahead and you can book your vacation right from our website. You can book your hotel. You can get in contact with the airport, go to their website, and you find restaurants. Anything you need to do, what to do and where to do it, as we say, SpaceCoastFunGuide.com.
One-stop
Check it out.
shop.
That's it.
Absolutely. And so next week, believe it or not, we're going to be here again. Next week, we're going to be interviewing and having a tourism conversation with Michelle Goldcamp, who is the manager of the Cocoa Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Nancy Peltonen, who is also the CEO and president of the Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce. And they're going to talk to us about any special events that are going on in their area and any of the fun things that they can see and do in their area. And aren't you like a future chairman of the
I will be the chair of the CVB for the Cocoa Beach Region or
I
Chamber of
thought
Commerce
you
next
were.
year. Yeah.
That's
Really?
wonderful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
very
Chairman
good.
Robert.
Yeah, it's going to be an
Wow.
exciting year with the rebound of travel and just all that's going on here on the Space Coast and in our airport and the airlines that we partner with. There's not a better year to
You
show
know
the
what?
world what we
It's
have.
looking up. It's
That's a
good.
great way to have a partnership between the one end of the county and the other. I think that's very
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Strategically, it's a very smart move.
We're excited. I'm excited personally.
Well, I'm
to-
excited for you because you're perfect for it. You're going to be
Thank
great.
you,
I
Bonnie.
mean,
I appreciate
I feel
it.
like I've been his mentor. So I mean, I mean, we've had great times. This is good to hear.
You
Good
are
to
our
hear.
tourism goddess here on the
Thank you.
Space
You're so
Coast.
sweet.
I I appreciate it.
Anytime. Hey, listen, we look forward to next week and want to thank you guys again for being here. And going to go eat some lobster, I think.
Boy.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Sweet.
That's a wrap.